A historic night of boxing. Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano for the undisputed World Championship here at the Mecca of Boxing, Madison Square Garden.
This feels like a, unification of the heavyweight division.
Back to where it all began. A fight that was on everyone's 2025 wish list. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano 3 is official. July 11th, MSG, all-female card, Netflix, undisputed super lightweight championship. 3 years, 2 months, and 11 days after they made history in their first meeting.
This is what they're stamping as the biggest women's boxing match ever. I'm going to be here, which to me it is. It has to pass so many heights. I mean, to be at the Madison Square Garden at the big house, not the little one, the big one. To have two fighters who are 7-time division world champion, then have one that's undisputed, Olympic gold medalist. Like, this is a fight that you would want to have, represent women's boxing. Is that fight with those two girls?
Just to see how far women's boxing has come since I was a little girl. We had the era of the Lucia Rikers, Layla Ali's, Christy Martins, and then after that, you kind of didn't really hear or see women's boxing at all. So it was pretty much non-existent, and now it's back and it's bigger and better than ever, and it's just going to continue to grow.
Women's boxing was just, women doing boxing, right? Now we're at the big stage. They're getting paid, the promotion, it's worldwide, and I love it. I love the growth.
I had the honor of covering that event in person, and to this day, it stands as the greatest sports moment of my life. After the fight, a lot of media members that have been around longer than me and experienced more events than I have agreed with that same sentiment. The Garden has photos across their entire concourse painted of historic events that they've hosted. And if I had to bet, on July 11th, when people walk into that building, there will be a photo from their first meeting on those walls.
From that point forward, everyone who witnessed their 10 rounds of thrilling action made sure word got around for people to tune in when they inevitably met again. But how does a sold-out Madison Square Garden main event that was Fight of the Year worthy get any better? You follow it up by putting on another award-winning performance as the co-main to Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on Netflix for over 60 million people to watch, which they did on November 15th, 2024.
This was Netflix's debut for live professional boxing. And despite the fact that the main attraction was Paul and Tyson going into the night, after it was all said and done, the only thing people were left talking about was Taylor and Serrano. It was another 10 rounds that had you on the edge of your seat the entire fight.
If there was any critique, it would be that the result stayed the same. Taylor won a controversial decision, but luckily, that didn't affect the desire for the trilogy. In fact, it only strengthened it. Now they get their rightful spot as the main event on Netflix.
I want to make this abundantly clear. 3 years ago, we didn't know this could be a successful main event. We didn't know if it could sell. Simply put, we didn't know if it could live up to the hype. The promoters didn't even think it was worthy of the big room at Madison Square Garden. But now, it's one of the biggest fights in all of boxing. It'll go from being the first female match to headline at MSG to the first female match to headline Netflix.
And when July 11th rolls around, reports suggest Serrano will officially become the highest paid female combat athlete ever, with Taylor right up there with her. These two are responsible for literally changing the entire history of women's boxing.
But Katie Taylor is someone that is incredibly inspirational to me, to young females, to males, to everybody around the world, because she's continuously not allowed anything to get in the way of her dreams. In 2002, when she walked into Bray Boxing Club, before she walked in, she had to put a head guard on to pretend she was a boy. Girls boxing was banned in Ireland.
When I first, met Amanda, 7-division world champion, getting paid $5,000, $10,000 for a fight. To think that we are here a year later is massive. Support these ladies, because that's what this fight needs. We need to prove that the business side of this can sustain so that women's boxing can continue to get big paydays, continue to drive forward, and continue to be equal in all aspects of the sport. So if you're, a woman out there watching this, tune in Saturday night to support these ladies. They've worked their whole entire lives to sacrifice and dedicate themselves to this moment.
Even without each other, they would have gone down as two of the greatest female boxers of all time. Taylor is an Olympic gold medalist who made her pro debut as the main event at Wembley Arena. And now she's a two-division undisputed champion. Serrano has the second most division titles in the history of the sport, right behind Manny Pacquiao. And she's also one knockout away from tying the all-time women's boxing record.
In a business disguised as a sport, these two fighters, these three fights, have changed the way women's boxing is treated in both regards.
Taylor is up 2-0 on the official scorecards, but in a lot of minds, it should be flipped for Serrano. And I'm one of those minds. I had Serrano winning both of them by the narrowest of margins, which means I could see a path for Taylor winning as well. In the first one, I predicted Serrano. In the second one, I picked Taylor. And for this one, since it's at super lightweight again, and that's 3 divisions up from Amanda Serrano's natural weight class, I have to pick Taylor again. But don't get me wrong, this is still a 50-50 matchup, and there is not a single result that would surprise me. So let me know what you thought of the first 2 fights and who you got in the trilogy.
We've experienced 20 rounds of goosebump-inducing fisticuffs so far, and there is no reason to expect anything different on July 11th, when the lights somehow get even brighter.
Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, 10 rounds for the undisputed championship of the world. Matchroom Boxing, most valuable promotion from Madison Square Garden.
Very rarely do the most anticipated sporting events live up to the hype. Think Mayweather-Pacquiao or the Super Bowl. Taylor versus Serrano hasn't just lived up to the hype once, or even twice. It has exceeded expectations both times. These legends are at the end of their careers, so this could be the last time we see them fight. And the funny thing is, if the person who wins the trilogy does it in convincing fashion, they will argue that they won the rivalry, no matter what the official scorecards say. So do you want to be a part of history? Then tune in to Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano 3 on July 11th on Netflix.